All right, guys, the Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs had a tank off, even though it's in the preseason. Actually, the Spurs look pretty nice. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. You know what? I don't know if that played any sound or not. I've got to figure that out because for some reason that's not playing sound. So we'll figure that out. But either way, let me know in the comments. Did it play sound? I don't think it played sound. Anyways, the Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs played a basketball game tonight and was a lot of fun. But before we get into that, I just wanted to shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Guys, go download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com and sign up right now. If you go right here, you can use promo code HoopsNerd, and they will match up to $100 for you when you play the over-unders. We've already won money on this channel with the live streams. It's easy. I'm telling you guys, if you know what you're doing, it's easy. Go bet on the over-unders for the scoring for all these football players. It's like yardage. You say, is this quarterback going to get more or less than these yards? If you're smart, if you know what you're doing, it's easy money. Go to Prize Picks, use promo code HoopsNerd. When the regular season starts, you can do it with the NBA. So make sure you go and do that, guys. It would be great, and it would support the channel. So thank you. All right. The San Antonio Spurs, for the most part in this game, just absolutely dominated the Jazz. Let's see. Let's bring my alarm's going off. Let's bring this up. This is the joys of going live. But the San Antonio Spurs, I'll be honest, they looked really good today. Like, really good. And there were some guys on this team that showed that they have some real potential. Now, I don't know if it was just the Jazz bad defense or what, but this Spurs team looked really good. Here, we'll just take this off. Keldon Johnson, first off, looked really nice for the Spurs. He was a plus 13 for the game and scored at will. Had a really nice field goal percentage at 69%, but was 9 for 13 from the field. 4 for 5 from 3. It really felt like this Spurs team could absolutely score the ball. Yeah, it's the Utah Jazz, who we found out tonight are not going to be good, and we knew that. But they looked also just really good. They had some guys that really showed out. Jeremy Sohan was the guy in the draft I really loved. And he didn't have a great night shooting the ball from 3, but he just kind of showed why he's so nice. 6 points, 4 rebounds. He's going to spread it around. He'll get blocks, steals. He'll do a little bit of everything. He's one of those guys that I'm going to have it'll be fun to watch. I know the Spurs aren't going to be very good, but when Sohan's on the floor, he'll be interesting. And if he can develop that three-point shot, he has a chance to be a real impact guy for the Spurs. I think he'll be really nice. Pirtle, we know what he can do. The defensive presence is really good. He was actually a plus 16 for the game. But, man, Trey Jones, I didn't even realize this, plus 28. I don't know if that's just coincidence or what, but that's big-time stuff. And then Vassell absolutely shot the threads off at 10 for 15. I mean, that's volume at 66% from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Really nice with 4 rebounds. No assists because he just gets buckets. That was great. I think really the thing that I kind of got from the Spurs team is that they have a chance they have some nice players. Primo was that surprise pick for them last year. They picked him really high, and I believe he was the youngest player in the draft last year. If this is a guy that can kind of develop, I think his numbers were pretty decent last year. I haven't looked, so don't quote me, but 3 for 7 from the field and 1 for 2 from 3, 10 points, and so he might be a guy. He's kind of like, could he be like an Anthony Simons? Maybe. I don't know how much that type of player helps you win, but he looks like he could be a nice player. I don't know how good he'll be, but he's one of those guys that has a chance to be nice for the Spurs. McDermott, NBA rotation player. We'll see what he can do. And I liked Keita Bates-Diop when he was in the draft. Tonight he was a plus 13. He's one of those guys that he's kind of like an overall player that can shoot the ball. He was 2 for 5 from the field. Didn't hit a 3, but we'll see. And Gorgie Jang is also a nice defensive center. So this Spurs team has some players. They obviously are trying not to win a lot of games. We haven't even seen Zach Collins and Josh Richardson. So these guys will actually improve this team as well. We'll see what happens with them as things go on. But I don't know. This Spurs team really dominated the Jazz. All right, so let's talk about the Utah Jazz. Boom. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen continues to be impressive to me. He moves really well on the floor. I know he's a minus 11, but he was one of the better players for the Jazz. 18 points, 10 rebounds. This might be somewhat of a renaissance year for him as he continues to just improve. I'm excited to watch him play. He moves better than I thought he did. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Can he stay healthy? If he can, he's looking like he has a chance to really develop with this Jazz team. Kelly Olynyk is that guy that was surprising for everyone that the Jazz picked. Obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic is a better player than Kelly Olynyk, at least offensively. But Olynyk looked nice tonight. He was a -3 in a game the Jazz lost by how much? By 7 points. He was a part of a lot of these different lineups that are interesting for the Jazz. The one that's really interesting with Olynyk is he's on the floor with Markkanen and Walker Kessler. It's just a huge lineup. And it's kind of fun to watch. I don't know how good it is, but it's a lineup that Will Hardy has put out there multiple times. We'll see what happens with it. But Olynyk has turned out to be a pretty nice player for this Jazz team. A guy that can really mentor some of these guys and just a solid all-around NBA veteran. I was thinking about it while I was watching. He can spread the floor. He's a guy that, honestly, the Los Angeles Lakers should have traded for. I know they're looking for Miles Turner with the Pacers, but I don't know if that deal's going to happen. Maybe the Jazz can find a way to trade Olynyk to the Lakers and get one of those unprotected picks. That would be fantastic. He's a guy that plays good defense. He can stretch the floor. He makes good plays. Look at this. 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 rebounds, 10 points, only 2 fouls. So in 23 minutes, he has a nice foul rate. So he's not fouling people overly bad. Like, he's just a solid NBA player that helps teams win. And so he's going to be interesting for the Jazz. And if anything, he can just mentor some of these guys. Jared Vanderbilt was a -21. I think that's probably a little deceiving, but I will say he's got to figure out an offensive game. I love Vanderbilt, and I think he's going to do a lot of fun things for this Jazz team, and I hope he plays a lot. But 0 assists mean he wasn't getting as involved. It was kind of interesting in the last game. The way the Jazz seem to be using him, it looks like they're kind of using him as kind of a Draymond Green kind of role, where you're playing all-around defense and then putting the ball in his hands so that if he's not doing a lot of things offensively in terms of shooting, he's still impacting it in a good way. And so obviously tonight, the 0 assists, that didn't really happen. Can he be more effective offensively? His free throw 0 for 1, that's, this is kind of interesting to me. He was 3 for 8. Oh, this was the 3-point shot. This was what was interesting to me. He missed all 4 free throws, which that can't be. Because if you're getting fouled and you're playing inside, you've got to knock down your free throws if you're going to be an efficient player. I don't know if that's anything to watch, but we will watch how this evolves over time. I do like him taking threes, though, because the thing is Vanderbilt showed that he can be a really nice defensive player for a good team playing with good players. He complements stars really well because he does all the other little things you want: rebounding, defense, passing, all these different things, blocking shots, stuff like that. Can he develop with a bad team? This is a great chance for Vanderbilt, and it's interesting they mark him as the center. Can he develop some sort of jump shot? I think this is great for Vanderbilt because it's going to put him in uncomfortable positions, force him to improve. Can he just improve his handle? Can he do some things where he does find ways to score more than just dunking the ball in a pick and roll or on offensive rebound putbacks? Can he do that? That's going to be fun to watch. Jordan Clarkson, we know what he brings. Streaky shooting tonight, 5 for 15, 28% from 3. He did have 7 assists. That was the fun part of Clarkson's game today. He was passing the ball, and he's doing nice things. He found Walker Kessler for nice plays. He found other guys multiple times during the game. We can watch this for just a minute. But he is just finding ways to set guys up. He sets that play up. Let's see. Sexton, 28 put. Let's see. So watch this. Okay, let's see here. So Sexton gets the ball, passes it to Markkanen. Jordan Clarkson is playing within the offense and finding open shooters. Boom. Those are the type of plays where if he can keep doing that, he will find a way to help this Jazz team. I don't know if they're going to win a lot of games, but he can at least help set up these other players like a Vanderbilt get more development. The Jazz are trying to develop players. They are trading away their best players. We will likely see Mike Conley and Malik Beasley traded at some point. And I think the Jazz probably tonight wanted to see what they'd look like without those guys. And it was clear that without Mike Conley on the floor, without Malik Beasley, you are missing elite shooting. And with Mike Conley, you are especially missing out on good playmaking. And so we might see them be moved at some point or resting multiple times, especially on back-to-backs for Mike Conley, because, they're really good. But that's the nice thing about Jordan Clarkson. Can Jordan Clarkson kind of fill that role and still set these guys up to be able to develop? That's one thing you want. If the Jazz are losing games, which they are intending to do, can you at least be developing? Can you at least be teaching these players to implement coaching schemes and things like that? Because that can still be a very positive culture. And if Jordan Clarkson can do that, that's just great. Also, Jordan Clarkson's just a lot of fun. Colin Sexton tonight, 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. Not great, -13. He's not a very good defender. And when he's not efficient on offense, he's not really involving his teammates much. Like this, let's see, 1 assist for Sexton. This is the reason why Mike Conley being out means the Jazz might not be very good at all, is because Sexton is a good offensive player, but not a very good facilitator. So I guess he's a good scorer, and that's about it. The story of the game for me was basically 2 guys. Let's talk about it first with Talen Horton-Tucker. I'm actually surprised by it, although I guess he did take 1 for 4 from 3 and missed. But 4 for 10 from the field in shooting doesn't tell the story. He was really good. +4 in this game, 10 points. Some things I loved about Horton-Tucker is he drives to the rim and he knows how to use his body. He knows how to get to the rim. And he has athleticism that's pretty impressive for a guy that looks a little like he had way too many 4 for 4s at Wendy's, if you know what I'm talking about. But he looks really good, and if he can get in shape, he might be someone that earns more and more minutes. Tonight he played 21 minutes. He had 2 assists, but he just really drove well. And what I really liked, too, was this free throws. He manufactured these by getting to the rim. This is nice to see. It's kind of frustrating that he missed 3 free throws, but the fact that he can create these. Honestly, if you up his minutes, he's going 36 minutes. You can imagine him making, taking 6 to 8 free throws a game. Really nice. It's just some impressive stuff. He's got to develop, but this is a perfect situation for him to be in a bad team where he'll have the ball in his hands a lot and can develop alongside these other guys. Simone Fontecchio, I didn't want to talk about too much, but shot the ball nice tonight. Made a few nice plays. 8 points. He was a +13. But the story of the game for the Jazz, a +7 in a 7-point loss. Was this 7? Yes. Walker Kessler was fantastic tonight. He, ends the night with 12 points, 7 rebounds. He had 4 blocks. He was 5 for 6 from the field. He has great hands. Fantastic night for Walker Kessler, who looked like every bit of an NBA rotation player. Honestly, the thing that I was worried about most with him, because I kind of compared him to Hassan Whiteside, we know he can block shots. He has all these records in college, in his year in college. I can't remember how many years he played. If it was 1 or many, I don't even know. But he broke a lot of shot blocking records. But could he move in space in the NBA? And I actually think he moves pretty well. We'll see what he does against the elite centers in the game. And, he's going to have a lot of NBA moments. And even in this game, early in the game, if you go rewatch it, I don't know if any of you are going to go do that. But, and he had a lot of rookie moments, little fouls, things where he's jumping into the player and learning when and when not to jump and things like that. Where he had 5 fouls in this game when he went into the third quarter. And then there was a moment in the third quarter where it's like he had 5 fouls and he just said, I'm going to play. And he was fantastic. His buckets were fun. He was running in transition. He has soft hands. There was one play where he caught the ball with 3 Spurs around him and laid it in and made an and-one play. It was phenomenal. He is a player that can be good on both ends of the floor because he has soft hands. He can score around the basket. I actually, honestly, I can't say enough good things about Walker Kessler and what he's showing. He is showing that he is an NBA rotation player. He's going to play for 12 to 15 years in this league. Flat out. And he has a little bit of a ceiling because he's not a stretch guy. He's not overly physically dominant, But he is tall. He is long-armed. He is smart. He knows how to block shots. He moves pretty well. I mean, that's the thing I'm watching. Like, he moves pretty well. Side to side, pretty decent. And so if he can just move side to side, move in space, that's the big thing. Can he move in space? Then he can be a nice NBA rotation player. And maybe he can be a starter on a good NBA team. I don't know, but he looks pretty good. Walker Kessler, Ranger, looking like a steal for the Utah Jazz in that Rudy Gobert trade. Pretty fantastic. So we'll see what happens. You have Kelly Olynyk starting in front of Walker Kessler. I think that's the other thing too, is Kessler just needs to learn how to not foul so much. He had 5 personal fouls tonight in just 24 minutes. So that's a rookie thing, and that's just learning how to play in the league, getting used to it. Because these guys are going from college to pro, and the biggest thing, besides some of just the insane shot making in the NBA, is just the absolute athleticism. And so you're adjusting to that athleticism, which just equates to just incredible speed with some of these guys. Walker Kessler is going to figure that out. But so far, he's showing that he is an NBA player 100%. Fun to watch. So Walker Kessler was probably my favorite surprise from tonight. He just looked great. Can we give a little shout out to Jared Butler, who has improved? Look at this line. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 13 points. He was a +6. He's figuring it out. The shot needs to improve, and he's got to figure out a little bit more how to work within a system and things like that. But it's amazing what happens when you get actual minutes and you can show what you can do. He was one of these guys setting up Walker Kessler, by the way, and making Walker Kessler look good. There were a few moments, too, where Walker Kessler had some plays that were just phenomenal. It won't show up on the stat sheet, but Talen Horton-Tucker, is it Talen or Talen? I don't know. He had that one dunk that was just a highlight dunk, but it doesn't happen if Walker Kessler doesn't seal the lane. In fact, let's see if we can find it. I'll show you. This was phenomenal. We're going to go right here. It was this dunk shot. All right, so watch this. First off, we go in transition. Was it here? Yes, it was. All right, so we go back. Watch Walker Kessler. He sees Horton coming. Look who seals the lane. Boom! That's amazing. So Horton-Tucker, let's see. Horton-Tucker gets in transition. Look at who creates the lane. That is incredible offensive line play from Walker Kessler. That is just the sign of a smart NBA player that knows how to help a team win. Those are the type of buckets that's not going to show up in any stat sheet except for here, +11, because he helped manufacture those 2 points. Walker Kessler, fantastic move, fantastic stuff from one of the just impressive rookies on this Jazz team. We didn't get to see Ochai Agbaji. It makes me sad. I don't know why. But I'd like to see him play, especially over some of these guys, honestly. Although Simone Fontecchio looked really nice. So, nice to see. All right, guys. That's all I got. Let's just move that and move that and move that and move that. All right, let's give a shout-out to our All-Stars tonight. These are the guys that make everything happen. Absolutely incredible stuff tonight on the live stream from some DW to CB. Let's see. Fun stuff. So watch the live stream, guys. We watch it together. All right, let's give a shout-out to JB, Just Buckets, Baby Elliott Matson, Zap Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintas, Jordan the Goat, Best Roll, Joshua Hansen, The Danish Destroyer, Ezekiel Raisibe, The Man from Down Under, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, Donald Schooley, Schooling All of Us, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Jorge Arrizaga, Mi Amigo de Abajo, Patrick Akubo, The Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. A great night, guys, and make sure you're going to Prize Picks and using promo code HoopsNerd if you haven't already. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you're a Jazz fan and you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Make sure you do it. Guys, I will talk to you.